All right. Okay, you guys, welcome to Tuesday. We are actually kicking off the first month of the Martial Art MBA education platform. Now, this first month is open to everybody, and there will always be free information on the Martial Art MBA Facebook page, YouTube, and Instagram account. But it's going to be pieces of the puzzle. This over the next month, I would like for you to see how we organize the material so that you get all of the pieces of the puzzle and what's required. I mean, you're going to have to do some homework if you're going to take this seriously. So I've opened this up to everybody. Originally, this was only going to be opened to my clients, to the folks that actually want to work through a business education over the next year and really learn to master their business. And it's a year long, guys, because you can't learn that in a weekend. I mean, I've been in school now for coming up on 6 years. I'm currently in my graduate program, earning my MBA, and the amount of work has been extraordinary. And it's been 6 years. So I know there are a lot of programs out there that have amazing weekend programs, and I applaud them. I've been to them. I love them. I think those are terrific, and they certainly serve their purpose. But if we're really going to get down in the weeds about how to run our business and learn about business, guys, that takes a long time. And so I've been able to condense everything I've learned in school into it's not even 1 year, it's about 9 months of lessons, just like you're going to experience over this next month. And it will take us 1 month to write a business plan. Now, maybe you already have one. And if you do, I think that's great. I would still encourage you to go through and compare what you have to what we're going to be doing. I know for me personally, I had to write a business plan in my first semester of my third year. So it was once I got out of the lower level classes, and I was a junior in undergrad, and I was going in person. I mean, this was about 2023 because I started in 2020. I mean, what else did we have to do during COVID? Um, and I was so excited. I remember taking my Business 101 class and thinking, okay, here we go. I'm going to learn great stuff. And the very first thing that we learned was how to write a business plan. And I thought I had it wrapped up. I really did. I thought this is going to be so easy for me. I have a business plan. And I did. I mean, I had a small one, but I didn't really have one that was effective. And now in hindsight, I didn't really have a business plan. But that was the first time I learned that I didn't know very much. And it was both very humbling and it was also encouraging, because at that point I was spending hours, and I mean literally the whole day, from 8 in the morning till right before I would open the dojo, in a college classroom with young people. I mean, 18 to 22 years old. I was the oldest student in the university, which is crazy. But there I was, 8 hours a day, either studying in the library or in a classroom. And it needed to be worth it for me. Because if it wasn't worth it, what was the point, right? If it was going to detract from my business, what was the point? I needed it to help me grow my business. So I was very encouraged when I realized I didn't know very much, because then I knew that the actual education was going to be worth it. And man, was it. But this business plan was probably the single most important thing that I have done in all of the 6 years I've been in the classroom, because it completely changed the way that I viewed my business and every aspect of it. So we are going to go through it. All I'm going to do in this is just explain what we're going to go through. And again, you may already have this, but I still encourage you to go through. And if you don't have a business plan, guys, don't be embarrassed about that. Martial arts schools, we open them because we're passionate about martial arts. Most people don't have a business degree. I didn't even have a high school diploma for the first 20 years of my business. And we're out there because we love it, right? So if you don't have one, don't worry. I mean, that is why we're doing this, and we're doing it together, so you have a coach. Now, let's talk about what it is. A business plan is actually a very long document. I mean, literally, it's a document. If you're thinking from a corporate standpoint, you will not find a corporation that does not have a business plan with maybe hundreds of pages. A small business, you're looking at anywhere from 10 to 50 pages for a small business. It's really going to depend on the amount of detail that you put into it. I'm a really huge proponent of long business plans because you are answering so many questions for yourself. And even if nobody ever looks at your business plan, you are going to understand your business top to bottom. You will have already asked yourself the hard questions, and they are hard to answer. And you also have a document, an actual document that you can go back and look at when you have important decisions to make. And you'll understand a little bit later down the line why this document is so vital when you are stuck with a decision that you really need to decide, do you go this way or do you go that way? You can just look at your business plan and it's going to tell you the answer. I have found it to be phenomenally helpful. Probably the most impactful thing. I might have already said that because I believe it so much. All right, so let's talk about the sections of this long document. The very first section, and I want you just to visualize what you have. You have a document and it has a cover sheet. The cover sheet is the executive summary. Because if you're going to share this with somebody, maybe you need to share it with a bank, maybe you're trying to raise some capital, maybe you're looking at investors, or maybe you're just trying to share it with a new landlord because you're hoping to get a new location. They are not going to read 50 pages. They don't care. They want to read one page and they want to get an idea of what you do. And I promise you, some people won't even look past that. And now banks will, trust me. But if you have a landlord and you show up with a 40-page business plan and your landlord reads your executive summary, the fact that you have a business plan maybe is much as they need to know. They're not going to dive into all, I mean, maybe they will, I don't know, but my experience is they're just going to be impressed that a small business has a business plan whatsoever. But what you do want to put on that executive summary is all of the information from the other 9 sections, and you're going to bring it down to one page, a one-page summary. So that's a lot of, summarizing. If you've got 50 pages and you have to summarize those 50 pages in one single page, then it takes a little bit of work. You have to figure out what the most important things are to talk about. But you could think of it like your resume cover sheet, or actually just your resume. I don't know that it's really like a cover sheet, but it is the basic plan of your business, what it is, what you offer, what your goals are. It needs to tell what you're doing, who you are, and why you are asking for help or asking for a location or asking for whatever it is you've shown up for. Now, the executive summary has to be written last. And that's a little awkward because it's actually the first part of the business plan, but you can't write it until you finish the other 9 sections. So we're just going to go ahead and acknowledge that it's there, and let's move down to the second. Company description. Sounds super easy. This will be the hardest thing that you do. This will challenge you. And I know that seems crazy. How could it possibly challenge you? But you'll find out, because that's our homework this week. That is what we're doing, is writing the company description, and you'll discover it's a little tougher than you might imagine. Then you're going to talk about your products and services, specifically what are you offering, your market evaluation, and this is where you're going to look at your area. I am in the Columbus, Ohio market. I'm specifically in a very small section of it. But some of you might be in Miami or Los Angeles or New York, and your market evaluation for your area is going to look a lot different than mine. So I do see people online sometimes asking for help. How much should they pay for rent, and how much should they pay for payroll? Questions about their finances. And honestly, they can only get those answers from other people in their market. That's really dangerous practice for anybody to offer advice to someone who's in a different market, unless they are a professional consultant. So we're going to help you take a deep dive into where you are. What does your market look like? Then what are your competitors doing? And I do realize some of you say that you don't pay attention to your competition, and I understand that in theory. There was a long time when I didn't either, but you do need to know what they're doing. So I'm going to show you how to do a competitive analysis. It's actually quite interesting. And then after we're done with that, we're going to move into the operations plan. And this is where I think most of us live. This is probably what most of us are the best at. And we are going to look at everything from the very first thing somebody sees when they walk in your door to how you run your mat, where things are located in your building, the flow of your operations. We'll look at it from an administrative standpoint, from a teaching standpoint. It is going to be extensive. That's probably where we will spend the most time, though it may be the most fun for you guys. Management and organization, we'll talk about how you want to organize your business. And if you are a single person, sole proprietorship, what is it? A one person show or whatever. That's fine. You guys, you're still going to go through all of these steps. I'm assuming many of you are very, very small businesses. I know a lot of martial art consultants like to talk about, building the empires and building the large businesses. I'll talk about my business structure as we move forward, but I am a very small, very lean, highly profitable dojo. I am not running an empire. I'm running a very clean business. So we'll talk about different types of businesses. And I'm going to ask you what kind of business you really want to run. Then we're going to look at your financial plan. We'll talk briefly about profit and loss statements, balance sheets, cash analysis. We're not going to get deep into that because that's going to be a whole section of learning, and it is quite a bit. I will admit I do like doing P&Ls and I do like doing balance sheets, but it's a lot of Excel. And if you don't know how to use Excel, I'll show you what you need to know in order to get the stuff that you need to get. Funding requests and use of funds. This is where we're going to talk about raising capital. Now, I know many of you need money. Many of you need maybe a little nest egg to start with, and you may not understand how to get that. So we're going to talk about how you can get that, but also set up a plan for you so that you're moving forward in a way that will be comfortable and lucrative for you. Now, we're not going to get deep into it in the business plan, but we will acknowledge it and then we'll study it a little bit later. And then eventually we'll do your risk analysis at the end. And that's an interesting part of a business plan that I would imagine most martial arts school owners are not doing, but it's really important that you do. All right. And guys, that's it. So that's the overview of what we're going to be doing. We are going to start right here in company description tomorrow. And if you're interested, I have worksheets, I have a homework, and I promise you it will be a very eye-opening experience for you to go through this. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow with our very first lesson. How do we build a company description? All right. You guys have fun. And if you're in the United States, anywhere in the Midwest, stay warm. And if you're in Mississippi, I don't know that I know anybody in Mississippi that has a martial arts school. But if you are, man, I hope you're doing okay because they are struggling down there. We got about a foot of snow. It's beautiful. Now it's -10 outside or something. But we didn't get ice. And the ice, oh gosh, man, I feel bad for you guys. So let me know how you're faring out there. And I will see you guys tomorrow.